Greeting ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting Unity tutorial. Today we will be learning how to do a simple game menu. This is how it would look like when it's finished. We have an exit button, an options button that goes to the options menu, music and effects toggle, a volume controller, and a back button. And on the play button it goes you to the game screen. Okay, let's get started. Let's make a new project. Let's call it game menu. It's a 2D project. And press create project. First of all, let's save two scenes, the game scene and the menu scene. So we go to File, Save Scene. Let's create a new folder. Let's call it Scenes. And inside, let's save this as a game scene. Okay, now let's press Save As and save it as the menu scene. Let's open the game scene. Let's go to the asset store and search for Text Mesh Pro. We want a text solution that looks better than the default Unity text. Let's press import and import again. Let's go back to the scene. Let's open Photoshop and create a gradient for our background. Let's make it 2048 by 2048. Let's choose two colors. I chose two types of green. This is the first one, and this is the second one. Okay, let's choose the gradient tool. And let's try to make a circle one. No. Okay, let's make it from the center. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's save. Call it background. I already had a background, but let's replace it. Now let's choose two orange colors for the text, for example. We'll make a texture for our text with a gradient on it. Maybe let's make it horizontal this time. Let's choose another orange. It's a bit more dark. Okay. The other way around. Like this. Okay, now let's save this one as well. Text gradient. Let's get back to Unity. Let's drag those into the project folder. Now let's create a panel from UI panel. Let's put the background image that we just created. Let's first name it though, background, and choose the image. There you go. Let's make the image with full alpha so we can perfectly see it. Okay. Now let's add the text. Right click, UI, Text Mesh Pro text. Let's say this is the game. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's also center it. Now we need to change the font. Let's open a browser and look on Google Fonts and download a font that we like. Okay, let's scroll through them. There is one, Fugues 1. Let's download it. Open it. And let's just drag the font into our project. There you go. Now we can't use it directly, so we'll need to make a font for TextMesh Pro. We need to go to Window, TextMesh Pro, Font Asset Creator. In here we can just put the font source, and we don't need to change anything else. We just press Generate Font Atlas. And then we save the TextMesh Pro asset font. Let's save it directly in Assets. Save. Okay, now we should have it. There we go. Let's save the scene. Let's go to the menu scene. Let's create another panel. Same, we're gonna put the background in. Let's make the alpha 100. Now we need to create a button. Let's make it bigger. Okay, it has the default text in it, which doesn't look very good. Let's delete that and create instead a TextMesh Pro text. We want it to be the same, we want the box of the text to be the same size as the button. So we can just go press Anchor, press Alt, and press in the right corner, and it will make it the same size of the button. We're going to need another shader for our material, so we can put our texture inside. So let's choose TextMesh Pro Distance Field Overlay. And now we have a field for the texture. Let's grab it and drag it in. And let's also change the font to the one that we've just downloaded. And let's make the text size, font size automatic, so it fills the field. Okay, let's call it text, and the text will say play, because this is gonna be the play button. Let's name it play button. And we're not going to use an image to animate the states of the button, so let's delete the image. And let's choose for the button transition, we're gonna choose animation. Let's just make it smaller first, and let's center it a bit. There we go. Okay, and let's set the transition to animation. Let's create auto-generate animation. Let's make a folder called animations and save the state inside. There we go. And now if we go to animations, we have all the states of the animation, and we can choose the highlight state and record. And let's put 1.1 at about 20. And now let's go to 40. And let's just copy the first frames. And now if we press stop recording and press play, this is the animation that we'll do when we hover with the mouse over it. If we go to the press state, let's just make a 1 frame animation. Let's make it bigger, like for example 1.5. There we go. Stop recording, so it will just make it bigger when we press it. Let's move it up there. Okay, now let's duplicate the button, and this is gonna be the options button. Okay, let's call it options, and let's move it to the center of the screen, so 0. There we go. Let's duplicate it again, and this one is gonna be the exit button. Let's call it exit. And let's move it to the opposite side as the play button, so we're just gonna copy the Y and put it in the exit button, and then put a minus before it. There we go. And now if we press play, you can see it works. Let's create a game object, an empty game object. Let's call it menu, and put all the buttons inside it. And let's create a script called menu on this game object, so we can control all the actions of the buttons. Let's open the script in Visual Studio. We're not gonna need those functions, so let's delete them. Let's make our own function. We need the play button function, so we can access it, we need to make it public. So let's call it public void play. There we go. Inside we just want to change the scenes, so for that we're gonna need to use Unity Engine .scene management. And now we can just say scene manager .load scene, and let's give it the name of the scene. It's called game. There we go. So now when we press the play button, it is just gonna load the game scene. Okay, now let's go to the play button and add an on-click event, which sits on the menu script we just created. So let's drag the menu and select the menu script and go to the play function. There we go. And now let's go to the build settings and add our scenes to the queue. There you go, the menu scene first, and then the game scene. Now we need to create the options menu, so let's go to canvas and create an empty new object. Let's call this options menu. Okay, let's duplicate the exit button and move it into the options menu. Let's call it the back button. This is gonna be the back button. There you go. Let's change the text as well to back. Okay, let's hide the normal menu so we can work with the options menu. There we go. Now let's make a label or a title. So we go to UI, Text Mesh Pro, text. Okay. Let's call these options, and the text will say options. This is gonna be our title. Let's select the font and auto size. Let's center it and let's make it a lot bigger. Okay. Let's put it in the center here and up here. There we go. Now let's create a slider for our volume. Let's make that bigger as well. Let's put it down here. Let's delete the handle and let's put the fill to the color of the menu. Okay, orange. Now let's put also a label called volume in front of it. Let's move it up here. Now let's create some toggles. This is gonna be the music toggle. Okay, there we go. Let's duplicate this as well. Let's call this the effects toggle. Let's call it effects and put it down here. Now let's go back to the options menu and add an on-click event here for the options. And let's go to the game object and set active boolean. Okay, we want to make it false when we press the back button. So we want to hide this menu, and let's add another event for the menu and go to game object and set active true. So it activates the normal menu when we press the back button. Okay, same for the options button. Now let's drag the menu in here and let's deactivate the game object and also activate the options menu. So go to game object, set active true. So now it will activate the options panel when we press the options button. Also, let's make another function for the exit button. Let's call it public void exit. And for this, all we need to do is say application.quit. There we go. This is not gonna work in our editor, so let's put a debug here to let us know that this is working. Let's call application terminated. There we go. Okay, now let's connect the exit button. Let's select it and add a new on-click event, drag the menu, select the menu script and select the exit function. So there we go. Now if we press play, if we press the exit button, it exits the application, as you can see here in the debug log. If we press the options, we go to the options menu and you can toggle on and on, choose the volume. If we press the back button, it goes back, and if we press the play, it goes to the game scene. If you like this video, give it a like or a share. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, and if you have the possibility, please consider supporting me on Patreon from just $1 a month. Until next time.